Live. Volamel, we're finally doing this. We've been scheming. I've been trying to think about how do I do stuff with Volamel again.
It's been fun. I've been missing you.
Yeah, man. Well, we've been watching some Valorant, and a couple ideas crossed together, but without diving too much into it. I think this is a fun idea that we had about combining our, enjoying watching Valorant with a Valorant analyst and noticing things, the beauty of the game. I think there's a lot that is not talked about, and given that a lot of the feedback I've had with casters is you should be improving your game knowledge. There's certain things that shouldn't be a surprise to you, certain things you should expect, and how to actually, so that when you're surprised when you should be surprised, and not surprised when it's something run of the mill, like people losing people losing on a eco round. All right, it's not like, oh my god, they got 5K, oh man, they got aced. It's like, no, they had pistols.
It's exciting to get kills, but the context, as in most cases, is pretty important. So, right. Bringing a knife to a gunfight, not the most exciting win, but it is a W. That is true. It is exciting to get W's, but I mean, they did have knives, you know. It's...
Exactly. Cool. So, and the last part of it was that we've been up at gamer hours watching Korean Valorant.
True.
And seeing some nutty plays.
Fun stuff. Exciting things. Makes me excited for international competition.
I can't wait. But this is a VOD of APE Prince versus Muyaho, and it was in stage 1 of Korean Challengers. So and I'll be completely honest, like, I don't know a ton about either of these teams, and I think that's kind of outside of the expectation for this kind of series, right? The whole point is that that anyone can come in fresh, and then by the end, I'm gonna have a lot of opinions about APE Prince and Muyaho. Any context, I guess, that you think is important for us to keep in mind here?
I echo the same kind of sentiment. Like, not super familiar with either one. If anything, I'm a little bit more confident and familiar, I'd say, with Muyaho. They're formerly, I think, Bear Claw Gaming. Had some controversy with their org, ended up being separated from the organization due to some, if memory serves me, some payment issues, and now they're Team Muyaho, or going just by Muyaho. But very, very strong and competent team, a team that both teams obviously in this match are obviously in Masters, and two teams that should be on people's radars if they want to get into Korean Valorant. Two teams that are going to go the distance in most cases rather than not. So yeah,
dope, good stuff. All right, let's jump into it.
APE on the offense, on the attack, picking up their frenzies. A ghost for Halbay.
I think we'll a bit about here.
Is actually pronounced JoJo by production. And I also want to make it clear that my name is Aceless because the T is silent.
Aceless.
Yeah.
Make sure we're at full quality.
Anyways, going into this, APE Prince is going to be on the offense. Let's see which...
Look where Buzz went to.
All right, so APE Prince
in
the red, orange red.
Waiting for that free kill that you sometimes
pistols
get
are always
right
interesting, because it's so... It feels a little bit more loose.
But also, you can come in from behind very quickly with this. The round is actually starting.
I don't have a good sense of how much are
they're going up to,
how much are these teams going to be trying to do executes on pistol versus trying to do defaults. So that's something I'm watching for sure. It's a nice measured approach. You see.
Oh, look at that! A big blind goes down. Intro getting blind, thrown out his paranoia.
Intro here.
Dude, he's staying
swing.
Yeah.
Big swing from Jet.
There from Intro.
Yeah,
Harry actually getting the kills though. Okay, Harry with 4 kills.
That was insane, and it was really all the patience of that Omen hanging back here.
That was
dark cover. It kind of backfired. They actually assumed that
very
the
interesting.
Area was empty.
So you said big swing from Jet. Maybe we can. I don't know how much I want to be going back and forth, but let's try it out. I'm curious to hear your insight here. So let's go back a bit.
Actually started here, and
so yeah, they kind of started in a default. It felt like, yeah. If you look at this, this is default, and then they went to
pretty measured. Kind of slow. I don't know if what kind of makes me peak in an eyebrow or like raise an eyebrow is the fact, because we're seeing Jet make this big swing on pistols from A short, like through like T spawn, like going towards the site, and due to AP Prince like having that slow measured approach, like is this something that maybe they've already read through Muyaho by looking at their VODs? Like is this something that they're kind of, you know, are they actively sniffing the flanker, right? Like are they trying to find, you know, is this something that Jet's going to do throughout the rounds? Or is this something that we need to pay attention to? Or is this just, you know, a pistol anomaly? It happens. We'll move on. But it doesn't seem, from those two kind of pieces, I'm already like, I wonder, I kind of expect this Jet to be a little bit more aggressive. Pushing up A short like that does feel like she wants to take that space. She wants to, you know, take control of A lobby, kind of stymie that push if they want to go A side.
So we're talking about this Jet here, default. Right?
No, just Muyaho's Jet, Blue Jet.
Oh, Blue Jet, okay.
Blue Jet coming from like A short all the way around through T spawn, coming into that flank. Like it's very flanky, and the fact that APE Prince had that like slow start off where they're kind of measured, they're waiting for somebody to push up, they're waiting, they almost kind of assume that this push is going to happen. The timing was just off and they had to execute, obviously, you know, having the priority put on them. But something to kind of look forward to is maybe, you know, blue Jet on this side, maybe being a bit of a threat, being a bit of a lurker.
Yeah, and I do want to. I'm curious to see what people say to us continuing to proliferate anti-lurk as sniffing.
Yeah, they're sniffing. They're sniffing the lurkers.
Which we'll point out, right? So there was no sniffer here, really, because things just happen so fast.
They started off, you know, 5 sniffing, and then they went to 0 sniffing and then executed. They immediately just all in on the push, which the push seemed, you know, fairly well executed. Kind of covered on all angles. They had, you know, flashes coming into, you know, the connector from garage into C. They had the paranoia coming in to cover, you know, the logs angle. Like, seemed pretty well, you know, established, well practiced, and, you know, obviously took the round because of it. It was, you know, pistols, I don't expect like any of that to be something that we see moving forward. I think most rifle rounds are probably going to be a lot slower. You also have to kind of take into mention that, you know, they're running frenzy, so they want to be in their face. They want to, you know, close the distance as much as possible. These rifle rounds probably won't be that quick. Less in terms of the pace of the round, but more of in pace of them just actively like moving on the map. I think these next few rounds are going to be a lot different.
Yeah, they I mean to your point about the frenzies, they seem to be content, or Muyaho on the defense seemed to be content to let them on the site. I think they had one early challenge. I forget exactly where that happened, but you know, those smokes can work both ways, and I think other than just visually seeing the smoke like in the first person view, we would not be able to tell like who sent it out unless we watched like where the smoke circle came from. But that's definitely something I'm going to try to watch out for as well. So, you know, one thing I think kind of even just pausing here, before anything really happens, obviously we see an execute starting to happen on A. I do want to point out, especially because some of this, the videos will be shown to casters. It feels like, I'll just address this now and maybe not so much in the future, but I feel like a lot of things I see casters do, especially in these in-between rounds, is take this time to like take the foot off the gas, right? And stop paying attention and maybe banter a bit or talk about some macro things. But there's so much happening in the round leading up to it, or leading up to the doors opening and the gates opening, that is super important. And I think it's something to point out. Even we were kind of watching through, and I completely forgot to look at what the buys were. So
I think they're pretty even just across the board. Like the money spent seems like fairly even. Obviously, Muyaho having more resources to spend, a little bit of a force from APE, but even like the setups, like looking at where like Breach and Killjoy are playing in particular, like one thing that I think pro Valorant differs from is like, especially on Haven, like they're very much open to like giving space to B site. They're putting those resources. You see it with Cypher back in the day. You see it with Jet, or not Jet, but Killjoy right now. Like they set up those builder resources, you know, these nano swarm grenades, those trip mines, like right into control, so they don't have to necessarily put their bodies in the line, or put their bodies in line of sight, or put their avatars, whatever you kind of want to call it, in line of sight. But they can also, you know, play these wing kind of sites where you're playing C connector, you're playing the, you know, the A connector from B. Playing those link sides makes the rotations faster. You can still get to B. You're not necessarily worried about like trying to stymie that push into B. If they want to take a direct push, that's fine. You can just play the retake. You can play circles, right?
Yep.
You want to send the Jet and the Sova through A, make that circle around, take mid control, then attack, because you already have those flanks lined up. You have those angles to come in, so you have multiple attack paths. They're trapped into B at that point, or you know, the mid force is, you know, fighting for control. So like stuff like this is where I want to see people kind of go into it. Like, look at where the breach is looking right now. The breach is looking through the wall. He's facing a wall right now.
Yeah, that's true.
He's going to, you know, either flash, like all of his abilities go through these walls. So that's something to kind of take note of, where it's like, okay, if they're going to make this a short push and they all get, you know, stunned, does that open up the Sova to be able to get a shock dart, you know, big splash on the shock dart? Maybe the Jet continues to push through. We saw that in Pistol. Does she continue to push through? Maybe she gets a couple picks. Maybe she gets a better trade. Maybe a 3-for-1, a 2-for-1. Like, that's impactful, because we know that they're leading with the economy in this round, but it's not like AP has no guns. Like, they've forced a little bit here, so it's almost to be expected. Like, they're not supposed to have these guns. You would assume that this is just going to be a save round. They go into round 3. They have rifles. They have all armor, full utility, full buy. Like, it is what it is. This feels almost like a stylistic play, a little aggressive. For
the side of APE, you mean? To buy here and to push in? Because, I mean, what we might expect to see is a team to just stay on pistol, right, and save up and accept that they're going to lose this and just try to punish them and kill their econ. But they're spending a lot of money here.
They're investing. Confident, aggressive. They're going to move quick through this A short, I think, really quickly. And it's especially, you know, important to note that the call is kind of to predict this pause. It feels like they're going to go through A short because of the guns that they've chosen, right? Like, I don't think you want to be taking a long range, a long duel with this Sova, even though you can probably assume he's probably going to have equivalent guns. But to maximize your push, right, you want those close angles. You want those, you know, up in your face. You want to close that distance. You don't want to have to deal with, you know, a shock dart splash into a Sova peak and, oh, I'm already down, you know, in the health war. So, you know, that puts me at a disadvantage. I think this is going to be an A short push. I expect this breach to maybe get some value depending on how quickly AP gets off the line. Just like those barriers, like for whatever reason, I've always called like the barriers, like the line of scrimmage. So like off the line, like they go out. They could get stunned. They could get flashed. Like, how much value is this Jet going to get if she pushes up? How much value is this Sova going to get if he recons or splashes with a bolt? Like, there's some danger here for AP because they've invested into this round and because of the positioning that Muyaho's shown so far.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, if it's just the two here on site, then I would be like, okay, looking at this lineup here, and looking the fact that they bought, even though they have inferior weapons, it's going to still, it's regardless, it's a 5v2, right? But I think this stun is the one to watch out for sure. This one right here. And
I'm kind of interested later on, not to completely like
this is good.
Drill home these like not these flanks, but these wing points on B. Something we've seen in NA for, I don't know, a few months. It feels like somebody that kind of has really stuck out in my mind and playing this position in particular has definitely been Sinatra on Sova. So I wonder if that's necessarily transitioned into Korea. Maybe we'll see this Sova come over, you know, play that recon, a lot of Ares, a lot of Odin plays, kind of shooting through. I think there's a door there that you can bang through into A short. So
there's a spot you can shoot into here into A short for sure.
I think where the breach is standing too, there's a wooden door.
Oh, you're right. Yeah, for sure.
I think you can bang through that and actually get into A short. So I wonder if that's where the Sova is going to be positioning for the entire round. We also saw, I don't know if they necessarily do this anymore, but Sinatra used to play Garage as well and would have like a set recon and try to bang through doors to kind of help take mid control that way. Also played like B main into like he would position B main, recon like mid window, and then try to bang through like if you look at the line the line of scrimmage going into mid window from a T spawn. You know that there's like that little wall there that separates the spawn like line of scrimmage from like them immediately peeking in, like
right
that
here.
right there, like that wall facing B main is bangable.
Yes, this
so
one
like
right
you
here.
could take an Ares if you can recon, somebody kills it, or maybe even if it gets the scan off, like you can bang through that wall and actually splash quite a few, you know, chunks of damage onto, you know, this mid window push, stopping a play, stopping a Marshall, stopping an op, in their tracks. So again, interesting to see how these positions move forward into some of these later rounds. Again, one thing we've already kind of noted from Pistol, Jet might be a little aggressive. Interested to see exactly where Sova is investing his darts at, if that activates, you know, this breach and later rounds, maybe even through garage. Weak site definitely is C, but doesn't seem like AP is interested by their body language thus far going towards C side. So well, we will see. This doesn't seem, there's gonna need to be some heroics, or they're going to have to play it really slow. But the fact that they're all kind of stacking this close with 9 seconds left in the setup, I am hesitant to think that they're going to be doing anything but going fast.
No, for sure. Let's do the predict. This is on the round win. I think APE is going to win this round. For the purpose of, unless there's major heroics here, to say like the thing to watch out for is, I like what you said earlier, and I'm going to steal your point here. Is, does the breach get value on like does Muyaho get enough intel to where they're getting help from is this Ghana here? Yeah, I just wasn't sure how to say the name. Where Ghana is able to get utility to help out the people on A site, because I think this can very easily become a 3v4, right? Like they might trade out on this initial attack, but I think the worst I would expect this to be would be a 3v4 in favor of APE after we're done here on A. That first push. Yeah.
See, I'm very much in the opposite. I think that Sova for Muyaho is going to swing out wide, look down that long A sight line, probably get a recon deep in there. It probably won't get a scan off necessarily, but I think that's just information alone. I think this Jet, I'm feeling an aggressive Jet just from that pistol round, that big swing, the passivity, especially off like the first 10 seconds from AP. It felt like they were kind of, you know, waiting for any kind of aggression. They didn't catch it, so they had to obviously make that push into C. But it feels like this is going to be a little bit of a bloodbath. If especially, I am interested. I think the key factor here is definitely this breach. If he can get a flash off, if he can get a fault line off, that is going to be big. But that also kind of gets in the way of Jet pushing up deep. So we will have to see. Maybe it won't be as deep as I expect. Maybe she'll just play like that L right at the turn, let the flash go off, maybe peek off of it, stuff like that. I think it's going to be, to that point. I think it's going to be interesting on how much they actually see. Like if the Sova sees 5, how quickly does the Omen rotate? How does he rotate, or how do they rotate? How does the Killjoy play?
Exactly.
You know, I think this is going to be a fast push. How does Muyaho play off of knowing that, you know, all of, you know, AP is pushing through A?
Let's see.
But breach is a key factor for sure.
Absolutely. Cool. The predictions are in. Cool. Teeny bit of caster audio back to us.
Ooh, Marshall.
Oh, that's cute. Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
Marshall and Sova.
No. He's got
Big play.
We didn't see that info. I like that smoke there by the Jet though. The attacking Jet. Because that got them through. Another hug in the left wall.
They don't expect the Marshall.
Yep. Oops.
Ooh, shuts it down.
Wait,
okay.
I'm sorry. I forgot to go back to full screen here. Let's do that. We'll roll it back. Even though I did like that stacked view where you had the mini map. Do you almost prefer that?
I kind of prefer it. It makes watching a lot easier. I don't have to kind of squint.
Do we actually really like this?
I kind of really like this, chat.
This might make it a little bit tricky to use that Marshall. Marshall's not going to be great if you're getting butt
I need
rushed
to
by
undo.
a lot of players at once, but Things slowing down a little bit here. They're gonna
Oh
creep in.
no!
Lawrence
All right, it's
taking
still
him
two
down
on site
deep
though
with
from
that
Muyaho.
Spectre. Bombing through now is Buzz. Ghana taking down Lawrence.
I love how
Very
much time they buy though.
Into A.
Oh
Buzz
my
getting on
god!
kill there.
Oh, making it look easy.
All
Buzz
direct
just
rotations
pops
as
up
well.
and pops
Important to
off.
note. Good from APE to shut down like a possible Marshall buy. Like they have the lineup on the fault line. They have the aggressive jet smoke, or not aggressive jet smoke, but like that forward kind of long A jet smoke to kind of, you know, if they were going to buy a Marshall, if somebody wants to peek with like a cheeky rifle or whatever, maybe you get a bulldog and no armor or whatever it might be. They have that covered with that set utility setup, which was definitely a big reason why they shut down that Marshall buy, because I think that was like going to be impactful.
For sure.
Obviously something that Wardell and NA has definitely been known for doing, especially back in the day. You know, right off pistol, if TSM wins pistol, he gets that little pocket op and just goes to town and does work. So
That's freaking nuts.
in
Oh, look at
like
this
he's
10X
like
actually picking up a
looking at the
Marshall.
round in
Oh,
context, this is a round that APE invested in. You invest in this round. It didn't go poorly, but obviously not well. You lost and you only got a kill. You didn't get any guns off of it. Like this is not good by any means.
Yep. Yeah, this is not what they wanted.
He doesn't even get any info off of like the initial peak. Like he instantly gets pushed out by the fault line before anybody pushes up. So he's like, there's probably people here, but he has no idea how many.
Look, he had no idea how far up they already were. That's why he's checking the
fault line was
stairs first.
huge. Yep. Big fault line from APE side.
So another thing I want to point out here, look how much time Buzz buys with the smokes. Right? They are splitting up the site. It's like you rush on a site so you can kill everybody, but by obscuring the vision, they just buy so much time. I mean, we already have the rotations basically in already they're already basically into B site. We're watching in half speed here. It's actually super interesting how far up APE's jet went though, because they're just now getting on site.
A little disjointed, very disjointed. Like I kind of wanted that paranoia to come out as the dash happens. Like it wasn't. It was more of a dash and less of a flash and dash. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like that entry was definitely not as clean as I would have liked. I'm in love with the fault line. I think that was great.
Yep.
I think it covers a lot of options. It's very, it's very safe.
Oh, okay. So you see that oh no, that was a smoke. He was still setting up smokes. That's why.
Yeah.
Oh.
I wish they would have taken this a little bit slower. I think they jumped the gun off that initial pick and then wanted to explode, and I respect that, but I think they kind of lost because of it. This jet did not get any help.
Yep. I mean, and they lose everything. They lose all the advantage of that initial pick.
And the advantage of actually trying to match them in terms of, buying, right? Like the serve is gone. Like they tried to break serve and it is absolutely gone now. Like this is
it's V-Flight.
100% of fucking a save round at this point. What up, V-Flight?
Valorant Observer Extraordinaire. I think this exercise is going to be good for observers too. Honestly. Okay, cool. So let's go ahead. I'm liking this format. I think there's something here. There's something here, Volamel. All right, this is cool. All right. So we got the buy coming up. Pistols on APE. All right. One thing we're seeing a lot in Korean Valorant is, let me go back to this buy screen here. Is our sheriff buys.
Yeah, they're very excitable with their sheriffs. They're very excitable with their shotguns. Definitely a sign of the region. One thing that I think is important to note, especially on save rounds, is how people use their resources, right? Like even if they're saving, like how are they using their fault lines? Where are they smoking? I wouldn't put a ton of stock into it, but if they have a set, smoke that they always do, that'll probably show up in the pistol round.
Absolutely.
It might not, but I think it's important to kind of keep track of and factor that into kind of your pattern recognition when it comes to like where are they setting up, you know, on T side, are they setting up the Killjoy turrets always at T long or wherever it might be, like kind of noting that in your mind, even though it's a round that you don't expect them to win, but or maybe you expect Muyaho, obviously, because this is an anti-eco, like are they setting up the resources in the same places as they always do? Are they altering it because it's an anti-eco? How are they playing the anti-eco? Are they playing it aggressively? Are they more passive with it? Like
exactly.
That's all stuff to kind of keep in mind and know.
Yep. I mean, we're seeing the same utility here from from the Killjoy. You know, obviously something to sniff out, or we should save that word, right? We're going to try to detect the rotation through garage into C, so you can play passively back here and backside. Reflect really quickly. What we're doing is something called the pause and predict. Basically, we're just kind of watching through and doing some VOD watching, but at certain points we're like, all right, let's make a prediction here. What we think is going to happen, and that just be an exercise for people to get used to watching gameplay more critically. Okay, let's see here. So we got the save in here. We won't do a prediction because I don't want to have to do it every time. Let's just
every couple rounds.
Yeah, we can call an audible.
Play action.
This is a fast. So I mean, they're hoping for that fault line to hit anyone up here, but then they also don't like push through right away. Maybe it's like if the fault line is for if they were trying to peek off of the line of scrimmage, right? Ooh.
Good flash and breach.
Okay, an actual escape there. Buzz backs up now. A lot of movement down here outside of C, but it seems like they're instead going to try to move around here. Intro gets the kill with the Phantom onto Cobra.
That was interesting how they went up A short and then
just controlling space.
Yeah. Yeah,
no,
I guess.
They're just there, like, just in case. Just a ward.
Keep them honest, right?
Yep. You're not gonna sneak through A short. You're not gonna push aggressively. You'll be honest.
Oh.
Yeah. This is tough. It happens. It's a save round.
Yeah. I mean,
it's important to note exactly who gets the save round kills. Like on the anti-eco, it's important to note that, you know, Harry now has lockdown. So AP coming into this round has to kind of play around the idea that, you know, they could lock us down. They could, you know, if again, hypothetically, if they make this, you know, A short push again, they get a big recon on the side of Muyaho. They can run over to A, slap down that lockdown, and just shut down that push in its tracks, and, you know, really draw out a lot of that time.
Yep.
Not necessarily saying that is going to happen, but something to kind of keep note of is, you know, how do teams play against the notion that there is an ultimate disadvantage.
Yeah, it's funny as you're saying, like, keeping track of the ultimates. I didn't even realize that US Killjoy had the ultimate too.
Yeah, Harry got a lot of the kills off that anti-eco.
Interesting. So first gun round, they're going mid. Oh man,
Killjoy's not there either,
dude. One thing I'm really seeing from Muyaho here is their patience and ability to just control the pace. Right, we've seen a couple times to where Buzz, which is the jet from Muyaho, kind of just buying time on site. They're just straight up. I'm just chilling here. I'm chilling in the smoke. You know, I don't have to
which is completely opposite. It's totally opposite from the kind of read we had off of Pistol. Like off Pistol, you know, he was making these wide swings, like going on these flanks. It kind of felt like AP was going to sniff him out, and now he has this patience. Another thing to note, if you want to back up a little bit, is they actually fight for B site control, and they just completely give it up. They back it up.
We support our broadcasters.
We support our ads. That's right. Like the ads.
Oh my gosh. Ad 1 of 3. I think it's the final counter though.
That's okay.
Yeah, so I mean, we can talk about that. So what's an interesting exercise, and I think for people watching this to kind of realize, right, is that there is very I'm not bringing any intel into this match, and I can't speak to what Volamel has done in terms of seeing like, these particular players, especially in these teams and how they play. But already we have these reads of like, or these understanding and expectation of like, oh, first round played very aggressively, but now is a lot more of the, you know, is manipulating the time and space, in their favor, right? To where they're not feeling pressured. I think this might be the best way for me to say it. I look at Buzz now and I'm like, they're not a team. This is not a player that is going to feel pressured into having to try to make some kind of hero play.
Yep. Which, you know, to be fair, Jets kind of are a little known for, right?
Yeah, because it can empower them to do that. Yeah.
Yep. That hero, or that agent rather, definitely has the tools to be able to just bust into a site and get 4 kills. You know, no issue.
All right, so go back to the beginning.
Yeah,
here.
watch this B site push. Like they kind of almost gained B site control and then they just give it up.
So they push through. They did a good job pressuring out that
So they poke B, they poke A. Like Muyaho has no idea where AP is coming from. They think this is an A push now. They thought it was a B push at first.
And the smoke was there too on there was a smoke that was like right here that kept look how late this rotation is now. I mean, it's 4v2 as well, so
agree. I mean, they do have an ultimate advantage. You can I think there is something
like
to be said about how they definitely are saving, but I would find it interesting to see them try to go for this. I think if you could lock down, it's in a position to where C site on T, like there are instances where people do stack cubby. They kind of play offsite. They go down the C long, and they very much are playing for the defuse. So I wonder if you could abuse that with lockdown. You know, if you had the lockdown position in a way where you're covering cubby, but also covering some of the site, so that you can go in and try to get a defuse or try to push people off site, maybe send breach back there. Like, it would be interesting. I think it very much is the higher EV play to not go for that and just save it.
Yeah, I mean, you look at their eco too, right?
Sure.
They're feeling good about keeping that eco. Because otherwise they'd be right up tied, right? 100%. So they're a little bit ahead right now. Is this a good time to do the old prediction here? Let's so we have the buys. I want to watch for them to settle. Maybe we should do max once around, because we'll watch a bit more.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Oh my gosh! See, there's the aggression. There.
Yeah. She can turn it on.
It's out. Yeah.
This is Buzz. Yeah.
Yeah, it's Buzz. Yeah.
Yeah. Really quick poke.
Yeah.
We weren't expecting that at all.
That's the first time they've done that. Other than the first one was just off of a rotation. So.
Yeah. Very patient.
Poking up through B. They killed the bot.
So they know that they're at least one person's mid.
Yep, exactly. So this is interesting. We have the utility on C. So I mean, they could very well get on the site, but they seem to be okay with that. Okay, drone leading. I love this jump peek here.
Yep.
This is something that I saw. I didn't figure out until like I saw somebody do it in a pro match.
Yeah, I think it was drone. At least that was the first person I saw was looking at NA and seeing drone do stuff like that.
Oh my gosh, dude! Their ability to work around smokes and cutting up the fight. I kind of want to. I'm gonna. Let's see here. Undo cursor. I'm just gonna look for smokes here, because that's been something that's been really interesting. So these are defender smokes, I believe. He's sitting in one. Yep, attacking smoke in heaven. Dude, look at all these jet smokes too. Do you see those?
Yep.
That's Buzz coming in later. So Buzz is there in heaven. Threw 2 smokes down.
Just makes it so hard to be able to see as you push in.
Yeah, holy moly. That's actually insane.
They kind of 2v4'd that. Like, yeah, Omen could participate just from throwing smokes like kind of globally, but Killjoy is nowhere to be found there.
I mean, how do they even answer that? Is that they've been snuffed out twice now on A site pushes because of just the way they dance around the smokes.
Yeah.
A site's usually like smoke heaven and go, but just make it so hard. I mean, they even had They even had the was it Paranoia? That's the blind, right?
Yeah, Paranoia.
Oh. Oh God.
All right, this boy is aggressive as it gets. Like, this is Korean Wardell we're looking at.
Yeah.
I'm surprised he didn't jump peek it. Like the cojones, the absolute gumption to push down long C, obviously with support of your team,
right?
With an op is that takes some confidence,
right?
Without a doubt.
And he's here on B too. I love seeing Jets. I love seeing people, like, especially ops move, right?
Yep, stick and move. Just like you control this space, you kind of create the fog of war. That's something that I think like isn't said enough. Is like you create a presence, and you always have to respect that until you clear it.
Yeah.
Like until you know that op isn't looking down long C anymore, you have to assume that it is.
It takes
so if
time.
You stick and move, takes time, takes resources.
Utility, exactly. Like, all right, I'm gonna flash this in case they're still peeking.
Yep.
The flash they don't have for later.
And you don't have to do that with an op. You can do that with your body. You can do that with a pistol. Like if you just take mid control and then give it up, the enemy team, if they're respecting you, they have to go and check that now, or at least like do something to try to not dissuade you, but they have to answer that in some way.
Right.
Whether it's, throwing a nade to check an angle, and from that they can kind of maybe assume that, maybe you've given it up, maybe you've ceded ground at that point and you created the fog, but you're not standing in it.
I think that's a really, that's a whole freaking discussion. I mean, you talk about rotations, like in League, I think it's just language that should be added to attack shooters, right? Is the fog of war, just using utility to get space and how you benefit from it. Because it might seem like a waste of time to, like, you just got to kill there. Why are you not covering the same? Oh my God, dude.
Is that ice paper hands?
Just
shout out to.
Oh, what's that?
To artists back in the day.
Actually, don't know him
playing that angle a lot from like Fish 123.
Oh, okay, yeah. Admittedly, I didn't watch a lot of European Valorant.
They're having a hard time answering this op.
He like has their number. This is the second time now that he's gotten the collat off of a double peak on the place that they're rushing. He's maxed out on gold.
Yeah.
That was
they're a little rich.
That was their eco, but still, like, he had the read.
Yep.
That's nuts.
If he actually just presses garage and looks for a poke, I'll be a little mad.
What's he gonna do here? What's going on? What is happening?
This is very much let me see if I can do it.
The jump peak. He's just standing in it.
Still gets one.
He's just standing in it.
All right, Buzz.
This is Korean Wardell. This is 100%.
And then I was going to go into this like from the Korean matches that I've seen, and it's been a smattering to be fair. Like not a ton of op play. Very much like they'll use it if they can, or if they have like set plays for it. Like Vision Strikers obviously can splash it if they need to. I think New Turn can as well, but nothing quite like this. Like very much a little bit passive, not super op heavy in terms of like just aggressive poking, jump peeking, like very like Wardelly. But Buzz is making some sandwich at cafe a la Wardell. So we're getting
like
there.
That. Yeah.
Change up on the Killjoys, resources.
Look at this.
Moving from C to A. They're okay with giving the site. They don't expect them to take it, but they've got this set up, and this is,
oh man,
sniffs it.
Yep. Oh,
man. Do they use? I always want to call it Earth Shatter, but it's Rolling Thunder. I think you could probably Rolling Thunder into this and probably just clean it up easy.
Yeah,
I think that's
yeah.
probably.
They're just doing it.
Yeah. All right.
Doing a drive.
All at once. Yep. Multiple angles
Holy
again.
moly.
So it's one point that definitely isn't like brought up enough, is like attacking from multiple angles. Like when you and I have watched, like there is a lot of stacking going on, whether it's like stacking C Cubby on Haven, right? Offsite, playing at this offsite hold for a C plant.
Yep.
Or,
We're talking with
stacking
here. Yep.
Stacking Mail on Split, or stacking, Hell on Ascent on, I think that's A site, right? There's a lot of like these positions where teams kind of set up crossfires and these like really enclosed angles that I think that can be punished if you're not properly tracking resources. And ideally they are, but it doesn't necessarily always feel that way when, you have a raised nade fly in and you're sitting there with your buddy in Hell and you just kind of look at each other and go, well, guess the round's over.
Yeah, exactly. I'm calling audible here because this is I think they're able to buy. Yeah. So they're buy.
Yep.
No money left, right? Of course they'll have the bonuses from having a lose streak, which I don't know exactly all the math on that. But this feels like the one where as
you need to win. You're getting close to the half.
Yeah. So this is where like I'm anticipating like a caster saying, oh, backs against the wall. They really got to win this. If you're watching this, especially, I mean, just look at that scoreboard, dude. They're nearly maxed out across the board except for one person, a couple thousand off versus people who have 0. Where there would be generic platitudes of, they got to win this or they're just going to get stream rolled. They can't go into the half. Like they need to win it out and try to bring it to an 8-4 or a 7-5. But let's maybe take a moment to kind of point out some things. I think we could expect changes here for APE, and the one of the notable things we've already brought up is just how dominant Buzz has been in reading them on their pushes. So maybe I'll give I don't know if you have any thoughts on like do you agree with that assessment of like at this point is APE, are they insane if they're not trying to change things up? What are you expecting here maybe?
It's not necessarily that the need to change things up. The one round that we've seen them actually be somewhat successful, I want to say it was like either round 3 or 4, where they kind of poke up through B.
I think it was 3, yeah.
They poke up through B, they kind of fight for B control, or they at least establish that fog of war, and then they back off. And then they go to A short. They kind of poke up there, they establish that, and then they back off, and then they go C. Like if you create an opening, I think they're doing a great job at controlling space, but they're not actually using the little hand fights that they've won, right? Like they've pinned an arm behind the back, but they're not actually like cranking it to try and submit their opponent, right? I want to see them kind of create those openings and then go for it. They're trying to create too much on the map, right? They poke through B, they get that control, great. They poke through A, they get that control, great. Now they're going through C, like they're trying to make the French tour, but I just need them to like just marathon it in sometimes. Like get that opening and then just drive it home.
Yeah.
Another thing to kind of keep track of, to kind of double back on to the Buzz point. Buzz demands resources right now. The fact that he's pushing through Garage and to be fair, like he's sitting in the Nanoswarm, I don't think like I can't ask more than that, right? Like I can't demand more resources every single line push.
Yeah.
But I think that's going to be necessary if AP wants to kind of stem the bleeding here, like these assumed casters might be saying, right? Like it's true. Like you don't want to go into the half down so many rounds. You want to have some sort of buffer room. You want to try and break the serve now. And the only way that you're going to be able to do that, and I think that's the kind of 2 keys that I'm looking for, is I want to see them kind of really punish Buzz if he's going to continue to press aggressively.
Right.
Maybe he just turns it off, right? Maybe he flips that switch and goes, okay, I'll just play super passive now. I've established myself as being a threat. They're going to throw out resources. Maybe I'll back off. I don't think you can take that chance. I think you have to play off the line really aggressively. And if you get that space, push it home.
Yeah, absolutely. That makes a ton of sense. Let's see. I'm just reading a comment here. You can already see based on player positions that Muyaho are postured for disruption. Buzz likely to peek deep A with the op to get a read on what the plan is on attacker side. It's what I'd consider flow disruption, especially when so much rides on the round for APE. Yeah. I think let's watch this and just see what disruption happens.
I kind of expect him if he's actually gonna peak. I kind of expect him to play A side, but
yeah, it's interesting that he's on short, right? With the op.
Yeah.
I would not expect that.
but maybe that's Buzz, right? If he's sitting in a nano swarm, then he's the type of, he's the type of G to actually push this.
Oh my god.
This is as confident as it gets. Again,
Yeah.
good fault line, great fault line.
Yep.
They're trying to cover it, but it's just too short. Like, it's right in his face, and he's like, cool, like, you're just short of me. I don't care.
Well, because he's in the freaking room. He's not in the, you maybe expect somebody to play hug that left side or that, this side right here, but instead he's sitting in the middle of the
just
freaking room.
Deep. Yep. And again, like, they push up, they don't get anything, they don't see anything, they don't get any kind of intel from like B site, at least not that I saw.
Yep.
They push up, they feel like they actually walk into B site and nothing.
Great catch by the observers, by the way. They really were also tuned in on that.
Good. Owl pushes them out.
Yep. Now what?
But they already have Killjoy set up. Like, this is the weak side. They don't really care. Rotations come in. They got the owl. Right off that this is going to be a push.
Yep. Buzz stayed alive for a long time. But okay, this looks like what they needed. Let's see this retake. Jeez. Okay, all right. Oh, is he going to do it to him? Oh!
Again, I think that's their best round thus far. And again,
for sure,
it's very much like make the call and just commit to it. It's not none of this waffling, creating the space, playing, deep into these rounds. Once you get the space, just try and execute on it. I think that's they did that well. I don't know, just ending. Yeah,
Lawrence dashed in there after the fault line, and he was just like, die! He was like chasing him out the back of spawn. He's like, we need a round. You can see it. You can see it and how he's aiming.
Deep turret. Okay.
UM3, in terms of the disruption, no, they hadn't really been. They were basically getting read by Buzz.
They tried to disrupt him a little bit. They threw a nanoswarm at when he went to go peek for garage.
That's true.
But he didn't care. He just sat in it, got the pick, and got out. 30 HP in a dream, but they very much need to invest more into trying stopping him off of these spawn peaks, because you just can't afford to just get dashed on like that.
Yeah. I mean, I think you could say that it's not that APE were playing particularly poorly. It's that they were getting they were definitely getting unlucky, but they felt a lot more like outplays, right? Outplays for Buzz than not. Dude, look at him just sitting in right there. He's just
like they keep faking B. Yep. I want to see what their B executes actually look like. Misses the shot. All right, that's an opening. They can't. This is an opening they want to abuse.
Do they take it now? See, to your point, to your point, they get the space, but they've done this so many times. Like, is this expected to work? They gotta know by
this is like the third or fourth round that they poke up, they back up, they poke up, they back up, and now they're just gonna execute on C.
Yep.
It does cause some confusion. It does pull the defending team around the map, but I mean it works now, but they
gotta plant,
which is good.
Oh, they didn't even get to plant yet, and they're on site.
Oh, that's fine.
They just planted now. I think. Oh, I thought that was gonna be a collat, dude. Holy moly! Now, yes, it is looking better though. That's gotta feel so bad. You're just like, oh, the last guy's got an op. It's 1v1, dude.
I think they were in two positions to actually like stuff the op, and then they chose the third option to actually fight into it. Like, you've scouted Buzz with the op on A short with the drone.
Yep.
You go to push A, you push him back, right? Like, he misses his shot, he has to give up that space. You see him give up that space. That's fine. I think then you have to actually play off of that. The fact that they rotated to C, and you know that Buzz is going to be there sooner or later, and you choose to actually take that fight or set up in positions to actually facilitate him to use his weapon of choice that he's been dominating on. I don't necessarily agree with. If anything, I think if you want to, poke up B, poke up A, play off, go to C, I think you actually want to hold site and really kind of stop him from trying to get in with that op. Force him to pick up another gun, force him to come in close, force him to pull blades. It's fine. I think that's better than trying to play off site. Allow him to actually opt down long C. Still got blades out of it, but he might not even needed it.
All right, offensive
lockdown from APE. Double lockdown.
Oh, dude, I was confused. I thought the ring would be the color of the team.
I wish it was. I wish it was for Recon as well. That would be a great change.
Oh,
see, I don't hate this from AP. Like the fact that like you go for an aggressive lockdown, they answer, that's fine. You handshake, you move on.
Yep,
that's fine. I don't hate that. I want them to play off of this. If anything, if you want to make a cheeky rotation, you want to set up the fog, push through B, go to C.
Oh, you got sniffed out
a little bit.
They're clean, dude. They're.
This is very much a let's see what happens at the half.
Wow. Yeah, the miss on the lurk there, you. Yeah. That was not. I mean, they really needed that. Okay, 9-2. Last of the half. Right now. So these are the blades that did get them onto A. Oh no, dude, gone smooth with it.
A little bit.
I can't believe he jumped out of that. that looks like me freaking
So even just off of like, if we pause it here and we look at that alarm bot, that to me screams, I don't want to go A. That to me says, I expect somebody to push up here, even if not.
Yep.
We can read it. We can sniff that out with that resource. But that to me screams, we're not going A right now. We have no plans offline to go A at all.
Absolutely.
Which kind of, when we look at the map, obviously weak side is kind of supported by Killjoy, weak side being A. I guess in that way, maybe it's not the weak side, maybe it's probably C. But even then, I think Killjoy is definitely like spread out her resources quite well. So that it doesn't really feel like a weak side. Like garage control is great.
Yep.
The only thing I guess you could really worry about is like a direct C push, like straight up C long, like flash dash and just quick execute right off the line.
I've always seen this. I mean, the nanoswarms always are grouped together. The alarm bot's always somewhere else, and so there's a ton of value just in like spreading it out. But they definitely seem like a team who they're not trying to stop them getting into the point. They just want to know, and then they'll very much retake. Yeah, very retake.
And it's a shame because we haven't seen like them actually execute on many retakes. Like I'd love to see them actually get pressured into playing for the retake.
Yeah, like lose that first battle and then them just go on that site. Yeah.
It just AP hasn't gotten in any of these rounds that deep. Like we've seen a few, but obviously, the C push, but outside of that, it's been kind of a wash on a lot of these rounds just because Buzz is getting so much or has gotten so much value. Another thing to note from the APE's Killjoy is, that turret, again, very passive, kind of depending on exactly where it's exactly like, it's very much like, okay, we're kind of forfeiting the A side of the map, at least for right now. That can change, but off the line, off the spawn, it looks very much like a B poke into a C push.
Yep, absolutely.
Maybe even fighting for garage control, but it feels B to C.
I think you could actually even aim it this way, and since it's 180 degrees, it should get this entire range here.
Yeah, good.
Yeah.
That'd be something I'd love to see from Riot, is actually a direction on where some of these are facing.
Yeah.
Like, so you can see that off the minimap.
Yeah, no, it's actually facing this way. It's a new strat.
Facing the wall.
Yeah, new strat.
There you go. Yeah. Recon's dry.
There's the alarm bot. Ooh, Earth Shatter. There you go, dude. They when AP has the Rolling Thunder, they can get in there.
Wow. But that's almost a problem. Like you should expect that, right? Like you should expect, like if you're going to invest in alt, like you need to get in there.
What even happened?
Back it up a little bit.
Yeah, I want to rewatch that. Let's even put it. Let's put it half here.
I don't think they get popped by this. Yeah, they kill it. Paranoia for the close, like 90 angle, double rolling thunder, and they just give it up and Jet goes in.
Where? Yeah, what's going on back here?
Yeah, what's up with like this has been something that if they get into a round, the entry does not get supported all that well.
Yeah.
I
Did they get
like
paranoid?
cutting the no, at least not that I saw.
Let's side scaling shuts down after the rolling thunder. I'm not sure what that means actually. Site scaling?
Not sure.
All right, so the movement inside this is like half speed. So nice. They use offensive flash. Anyone close? They're checking in, moving in with the drone. Rolling thunder comes in. Oh, they got rolling thunder too. Oh my god, I didn't see that.
It kind of cuts him in half, but then Sova really doubles back.
Yeah,
like they feel confident in. It doesn't seem like the bomb isn't like directly going to the site. It feels like almost they want to move off of it. Like there's a breakdown in communication.
I think they're just trying to dodge it. I think that, but definitely breakdown in communication. Like the jet doesn't get hit by it and therefore dashes in.
Yeah,
it's like I'm going.
Like,
I'm going.
It definitely
I'm going.
divides them.
Yeah,
but it's like there's plenty of time. Like if you scoot it back even a little bit more, like there's plenty of time. If the call was to like make this like C-site push, like there's plenty of time for that Killjoy and the Sova to actually push it, and they just don't. Like Breach, I get his position. Like he's very much cutting the angles. I get that. I appreciate it. But there's two people here that really don't have much value here.
Yeah, with Sova,
they get divided. Oh, I think they actually might have gotten hit. Killjoy might have gotten hit.
And then the Sova was actually checking B. Be like, oh, are they pushing out this way?
Yeah.
But I don't think he needs to go back and chase that, right? They need presence on site, so he could be walking with them and just looking backwards maybe, and then get the site, and then look for the lurk. Wow.
Very much divided attention across the board. I don't know if that's a conditioning thing or something that they've prepped for because of how aggressive Buzz is. Like if Buzz is going to make these big swings like he did on the pistol and like how aggressive he has been in this match thus far, like is that something that they've prepared for and he just isn't activating right now? It feels kind of like that. And they're just not finding him. Like they're investing so much into this double coverage and he's just not there.
Yeah.
And it's tough. Like that's the kind of intangible presence that somebody can have on a server where it's just like Buzz is going to jump PQ garage. He'll jump PQ A short. It doesn't matter. He might even flank you. Yep. How are you going to deal with that? You have to invest so many resources off the line. You have to double coverage him on flanks. Like your attention's divided, your resources divided. That's just intangible impact of a player's name on the server. Like, what do you do?
Yeah, this guy's you can see its effect over these rounds. So, you said UM3, not you, Volamel, but UM3 said, I'm a CS commentator, so it's something I focus on a lot. Oh, bomb site scaling, as in how you progress into the site around and execute. Okay. I like that as that has a word. I think that's definitely like one of the core things of core tenets of attack shooter, right? It's a term still from Relics before his move to Valorant. Nice. Bomb site scaling. Interesting. Okay. Scaling. It's more, like climbing. I kind of like entry pathing. Well, I like it though. I like it. I think it's important. It's a
if you have like a VOD or like where he might explain it, link that in chat or
for sure.
Just let us know because that is interesting. Sounds interesting. Sounds like something I'd want to know.
Big same.
All right, pistol.
Frenzy.
Shocking.
Look at all the frenzies and the one Ghost. Got some armor from Muyaho. Definitely an idea similar to entry pathing and trade routing. I like this.
Okay.
I like it. I like it. So
Very active
yeah.
defense.
Yes.
Very like scrambly.
Oh my god, yeah, look how much they're moving.
They're all over the place. And look at that pistol push.
That follow up though.
That pistol push again.
Ooh.
I'm not gonna put a ton of weight into that just because it's the pistol. But
Still.
like that comparatively to what AP showed,
it's night and day, man.
Night and day.
Night and day.
Big support here. Jet goes in, there's a flash, there's a fault line, big support. Gets the space, and then they can take duels. Like,
yeah. So I'm watching the Jet right now.
That's an
fault
enemy
line.
fault. Like that's
So
fault
attacking
line
fault
to divide
line.
it.
Yep. Jumps in. Oh wait, hold on.
Smokes.
But they lose. Okay.
That's fine.
Yeah, but still, you still
I appreciate
like that.
the execute a lot better. I think that was well supported. That was a well supported pistol push. I think that was great. Could have gone differently. I think. I'm not gonna nitpick on a pistol just because it's pistol. Like it's important. Don't get me wrong, but not a huge one.
Big buys. Yeah, they do not want to lose a round. Look at this phantom buy.
Yep.
Bloop. I'm just drawing on everything now.
I mean, you got the tool.
Well, okay, yeah, exactly. Okay, so this makes sense, right? Put the big rifle down C long.
Yep.
Now, I would maybe expect. Oh, interesting. They're giving a lot of utility. Does this Killjoy probably rotate towards B?
I would guess like B connector.
Looks like they're just playing. Oh boy. Oh, sorry. I thought that was a deep push from
Buzz. Oh, that's not Buzz. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Buzz. Yeah.
Jets pushing up. Got that space control. I think they can feel comfortable that if there was an A push, it probably would have come. Gets a pick off down long C. Okay.
This is very heavy investment. I think they're expecting an execute, right? On the for the eco. Here we go. Using that utility.
Not a big fan of. I kind of wanted. I was ideally having that rifle be a little bit more distant.
Yeah. At the same time, they looks like Muyaho just wanted the plant. I mean, first person in goes to plant. They had smoked it off, and he entered the smoke at the same time. So, if there was someone else with Buzz there on the plant to kind of watch, right, in case anyone does rush that smoke, probably looks a little different. Also, UM3 said, I don't think there's a VOD. Okay. Yeah, you saw that.
Yeah,
that's fine. This is good. I'm learning language from what some people are saying. All right, cool. Oh, dude. Okay, we got our op on Lawrence.
Lawrence coming in.
All right, Lawrence, what do you got?
Buzz with his garage.
Jump peek.
Or is that's Lawrence? Never mind. I lied. I'm shooketh. That's the one thing with like the full screen map. I can't necessarily tell who's what and where they are.
Yeah, for sure. Oh yeah, because you lose the teams.
Yep.
Got it.
I think it's still beneficial. I'd rather that than.
Yeah, we can certainly we can add in something there. So at least get the title cards.
Very passive.
Yeah, I'm. This is very interesting. I mean, they're a lot more default focused for Muyaho here on the attack.
What did they? What did Muyaho show to make that such a big rotation? Again, like very an active defense.
Yeah.
A lot of moving, a lot of just like doesn't feel like reads. That feels a little like aggressive, but
yeah, they're acting on information, and then a lot of people are moving. Dude, they're completely. It's almost like
they're biting. It feels like they're biting on feints.
Yeah,
like they're just kind of twitching, and there's so much of a response.
Yeah.
Okay, now we get to see AP take retake.
Yep, there's playing a retake. You know, I can appreciate that. I can appreciate this. You have to trust yourself to say, let's just play retake.
Yeah,
we're gonna focus on
100%.
You know, obviously there's
they're getting stuffed though.
Yep.
Nobody's in a position. Nobody was in a position to actually like commit to like trying to take a flank and take a lurk, but
yeah,
they're all just having to come through the same angle, which can be super dangerous.
Oof. Here we
It
go.
works out, but
oh god,
oh, that's not good.
no. Interesting.
I don't think you can always count on that round, especially in those positions. But they got it off. If we back it up to kind of like look at the start of the bomb plant, like I really wonder at who could have made, like what would you want differently? So like this is the start of the plant. So it's like, okay, Killjoy and Omen are just directly rotating to A.
Yep.
I think at this point somebody has to make a call to go, okay, look, like I'll go through B, try to wrap.
Yeah.
I know that I'm probably gonna have some sort of like, there is some, I'm gonna meet somebody there. I'm gonna, sniff somebody out, but I think that's even information in and of itself. I don't think pushing through this angle, 3 or 4 people all at once, like that's rough.
Yeah, it's interesting.
I don't think you can count on that.
Yeah. I mean, had
any of those shots hit.
Yeah, I mean, I expected somebody to be right here watching. There's no one to contest them as they came in from here, from CT. So they just got to run out for free.
Yeah, there was an Omen looking like for the flank through A short.
They had 2 people looking here and here. They respected him too much.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of would assume, like, I don't think most people would assume that you're gonna, invest so much into such a direct rotation.
So UM3 said, I find it so hard to forecast rounds in Valorant because of how little information you have as a commentator. No HUD, no abilities. Late round HUD map doesn't show which smokes. Attackers use a dark cover, for example, at the start of the round, and if that were available after plant, could have delayed the retake attempt. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we're looking for more in the UI. Like, First Strike had a dope UI that I hope they make available.
I hope that comes back. Yeah.
Oh, you can't miss those. Unlucky.
There's a difference between Buzz and Lawrence.
Yep.
Good control with the Nano Swarm. Great.
Now they got the op.
Big difference between ops.
Yep. I mean, did Lawrence have like, I guess I was going to say, did Lawrence have the support, but Buzz was doing a lot of that on his own too.
100%. And I think you can have different ops in that way where it can be a little slower. It can be a little bit more passive. You need that support. I think that's fine. But even then, it's just like he's taking similar angles where he's like, I'm going to push up A short. I'm going to try and get a poke and I'm going to dash out and be safe. And it just screws it up.
Yeah, UM3 had a good point on that too. I mean, it's similar to what you said. That angle, where do you escape to? They're running that way anyways.
100%.
You don't get by cover. You don't get out of there.
It is a bad angle to take, but we've seen Buzz take that same angle and have it be successful. And I think it's just to be surprising. It's just like you don't expect an op to be sitting there in such a close angle. Like it's very much the antithesis of where you want such a long rifle to be placed.
Yep.
He gets in there, he gets the pick. I guess the only difference is that I think Buzz actually swung into the turn and actually got that long sight line up into lobby.
Exactly.
And then got out. Like you can't just sit there and stuff, have your barrel stuffed into a corner like that. Yeah. That's the issue. Same thing with like the garage push that Buzz did. Like he pushes out garage, he jumps, peeks it. He's pushing up a C long. Like he actually commits to pushing up the alleyway and actually gets a collat. Like obviously you can't count on a collats all the time, but again, just playing in awkward angles, demanding that space, demanding those resources. That's what I feel like Buzz has really brought to the table for Muyaho here. Like it's obnoxious at how much you actually have to pay attention to him. He demands your attention.
Yep. Because we saw what happens when you don't.
Yeah. Again, they're just trapped. They have no presence in this map whatsoever. They have no space. Muyaho has not done anything on this map, and they have map control.
And they are all. Look how far back they are.
Yeah, you might as well extend the blue half of the map up until mid. Like, There's nothing. There's no presence. I hate this.
Oh no.
Now, there's nothing in this round I like.
Dude, they got so much control and then they wasted it.
It's so disjointed.
Oh no.
Nothing in that round I enjoyed. Like, look at, I do not understand what Sova and Killjoy are doing. And this is just a representation of what the execute looked like. It was like a 3-2 like CA push. Like, watch them here. They teleport very like Vision Striker-esque. I'd like to see them mid if you're gonna do this. Demand the mid control. Did
they just forget how much time was left?
No. I think this is, we've seen Vision Strikers do something similar where they try to escort people up to A short on T side. They try to hold that angle and then they make this TP play. Like, this is very like out of Vision Strikers playbook. They make the Omen TP play with the bomb. They have it supported with a jet and a breach.
Yep.
Very, very cut and dry. The issue is you're investing 2 bodies to like this long A swing when I think it'd be way better to have somebody positioned like you fight for B, right? You poke in, you fight for B, you hold that angle.
Yep.
Right. You just position somebody right into B main. Yep. You cut that off. You cut these quick direct rotations. They have to go through CT spawn.
Exactly.
You cut off the opportunity for them to go, through to garage, through the connector. It cuts that, crossroads. I don't understand why 2 people need to be watching the A cross, an aggressive A cross, no matter.
Yeah.
That seems they're completely off site. There's no chance that they're going to get there in time for a rotation or like a quick push. I think 1 person's fine, but I'd really like to see a mid control here to cut the rotation.
Oof.
Like, they have no presence. Killjoy and Sova, 0 impact on this push.
He was flashed. Did you see that?
Who?
Buzz was flashed. Or sorry, the Omen from Muyaho. So they go for
Breach
this.
can toss him deep.
Yeah, I mean, I really want to see here when he smokes. Wow. Holy shit. So APE's Omen, he smokes just before
he TPs.
Oh, yeah, he blinded. Okay, he blinded down that way, so that kept the breach back.
Breach is out.
Either way, he smoked off anyways. So this smoke honestly won them this. I don't think it's bold to say that smoke won them the round, because he took out 2 people there. Otherwise, he has sightlines on him, right? Like, they're fucking rushing the point, and damn, that was.
There's a lot of like team flashing and
yeah.
team. I think the breach, you kind of these breach jet combos, like it's just kind of an
inevitability.
I think you have to bite.
Yeah. Right.
Like, if you want to actually invest into that combo and play off of that duo, I think there are times where like you'll just get clipped by a fault line. I think it'll get ironed out in time. Yeah. Like, as Valorant progresses, like that will become less and less an issue. But where we're at right now with a combo that like seems to be so impactful, you're gonna get clipped by fault lines. You're a good team flash. Like, it happens. Obviously, you don't want it to, but
yeah. I think eco-wise they're pretty similar though. Now I think it's pretty much equalized out.
Yeah, that's fair. Omen getting blinded is not ideal, especially right on the entry. Right when he comes out, you want to actually like survey, figure out what's up.
Yeah.
Oh, no right clicks, of course.
Because Korea?
I don't know what's up with them. And
wait, that's
I think
that's a soft. That's a team.
That's a whole lot of shattering.
We're seeing a lot of ults being responded to each other. They're very quick to
answer handshake. Okay, cool.
Yep.
You want to lock down? We'll lock down.
Yeah, because go ahead, sorry.
You want a rolling thunder? We'll rolling thunder. Like, it's just they're quick to answer.
Because APE even they rolling thundered one of their own there because he's like, all right, sorry dude.
Yep.
You're the collateral here.
Yep. Again, you just gotta bite those sometimes. And Rolling Thunder is a big one that is you're gonna get a lot of team hits on. Like it's the cone to it is so massive.
Yeah.
Ideally you want to cast that before you entry, but if they get the jump on you and they actually get priority in that sense, like I almost don't hate just like eating it and then pushing.
Yeah.
Or maybe even fainting. Like I think backing up's fine.
Sure.
Oof.
Wow. Dude, I think it's interesting to see Buzz move around that because he full well knows the possibility of what you can do, and he demonstrated it earlier this game.
Yeah.
Right. Dude, why do they keep doing this? Literally sending in Buzz off of like one piece of utility or nothing.
Yep. Yeah. Muyaho's T side right now, right? They're red.
Muyaho is yeah, they are.
Okay, yeah. Their T side is disjointed.
Yeah.
Not a big fan. But I think both teams honestly kind of suffer from the same attacking side problems. Like they feel a little bit more comfortable on defense. Obviously, Muyaho a little bit more so, but their entries are a little bit janky.
Yeah, it's like I don't know how much of a game plan they have on these. It feels very NA Valorant.
Very loose.
In that,
very loose.
there is this short-sightedness, right? It's like the timeline's moving and they have this plan for the next like 3 seconds. Why did it? Oh, sorry. Okay.
Automod.
Oh no, it's just it held that because UM3 said fucked.
It's all good.
Bad words. All right, here we go. Oh, this is the eco. They're just like, let's go.
Yep, close the distance. Try and get these.
Ooh. They're aimers though, dude.
I mean, it's not horrible.
All right, little fake out here. Yeah, they just run in.
You dented. I think it's fine. I think
they get 3 kills on the eco.
Mad at that. Yeah, not ideal. I would have loved to see Buzz actually cross, look both ways, but it happens.
I would like to see.
Sometimes you need to greed.
Buzz wait like a half second in some of these, or the team just to be there.
Yeah.
Right? This is the I'm going.
Yeah, very much.
Holy moly, what's this? Round 1 lost 24, drop 24. Muyaho. Wow, okay. Well, that has their lead is very much disappeared. Dude, Lawrence. It is such a stark difference though, seeing these Jet players. Yeah. Mirror ults available
they
again.
feel,
yep, you're right.
Yeah, it feels like similar angles that they're taking, but like one's actually hitting and the other one isn't. Okay.
Dude, these defaults are killing Muyaho. Like their defaults they're not like there's not an intention there, right? He's kind of up the lane a little bit and the breach is there to help him out, but he's not in a position to answer if Buzz gets traded out there. Very strange.
Like they feel like they're kind of waiting, they're probing for info and they're not really biting, and AP's actually just taking them. Like they're actually just like fighting in.
They've also stopped doing the like, oh, there be a thing. Oh, there see a thing. Okay, we'll go. I'll be there.
They feel like they settled into the match.
Yeah.
They kind of are calming down a little bit more.
They're like, Buzz is going to int, do your defaults, sniff him out, kill him, and we're good.
Kind of similar to like ZF gaming in that way. Like if we just get Rocket off the map, that's fine. Once he's off the map, then stuff really starts to simmer down. We can start to breathe a little bit easier.
Yeah. So much solo aggression instead of working as map control as duo as like I'd expect in CS. Yeah, actually, I would like to watch more CS because I've not tried to watch as closely as this, for Counter-Strike, and so I think understanding some of the ways that the teams move in a macro way would be beneficial. Be pretty cool to see. All right, backs against the wall here. Fucking, this is a big force from Muyaho on the attack.
Muyaho's attack has been anything but stable.
All right, they ping towards the cubby. I think, is Buzz gonna dash here? They pinged that. I think he just said, I'm going on that side.
One thing that I kind of liked about AP's defense, especially with the Killjoy, is that they didn't feel like they had a weak side. It doesn't feel like Muyaho has a weak side on CT here, but they actually have to commit people to these sites, right? Like they're very much leaving B open. They have their like they're near enough to be able to rotate and make like quick plays. But there's a lot of commitment of bodies that I think you could kind of mitigate with some of the Killjoy, setups.
All right.
I think you can get away with maybe another person floating.
Yeah, for sure. So that was the one time that Buzz didn't get blown up on the entry because they just weren't on site. That's the only reason. And I think they did support him well. They smoked out Heaven already. All right, here we go. Do we see the response? Killjoy ulti? Oh, they're just gonna kill it with Hunter's Fury.
They're just gonna kill it. Yeah. See, this is good from AP to like cut the cross at B. I like this.
That's a big kill there. Oh wow, they had already. I didn't even see this flank here. How did they get there? The fuck.
Good fall.
Yeah.
Oh, tries to stop CB. It's okay.
So yeah, I'm really trying to like understand. Obviously, these are. I kind of want to see that setup again and just really watch the mini map.
So now we're in post plant. Well, roughly.
Yeah, pretty much post plant positions here.
They handshake the ults. They go Hunter's Fury for lockdown. Fine by me. Again, looking at AP, if I'm remembering the sides correctly,
AP's on
Red
defense.
Omen, great opportunity to cut the map in half, stop those to kind of direct transit rotations. Loses the duel. It happens.
Got sniffed.
But I think the positioning had a lot of intention behind it.
Yeah. I think the kill down towards A short from Heaven was really big.
Yeah.
And then obviously sniffing out the lurk was really huge.
Agreed.
I'm waiting until I draw a dick on the screen.
I'm sure it'll happen. Yeah.
Yeah. All of a sudden, this game looks very different now. We're tied up.
Yeah, Muyaho's T side is tragic. I mean, to be fair, it's felt like both teams their attacking has been not a strong suit by any stretch of the imagination. I kind of want to see Buzz.
He's got an ulti
lurk
here.
A little bit. Like they're almost too direct.
Yeah. No.
They're not respecting their own strat.
Did they wait? They TP'd on a site.
Yep. Like they're just committing. They don't care.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, it's an entry.
Yep. Yeah, they didn't have time for the smokes that time. Nah, okay. That's
gotta look both ways.
Pretty much it. What a stark difference though. They had a plan. And they went for
just
it.
Direct, just simple. Like it's there's not a ton there to like really. I think you can get like really like nitpicky with some of those things, but I think just in general, like making that direct call, we're gonna push A. I don't care. I'm gonna take blades. Best case scenario, or not best case, but ideally, jet trades.
Yeah.
TP onto site.
We're happy with the
play
trade.
off that. Yeah. Haven's a map that I think direct pushes like that really incentivize, like the map itself incentivizes, because there's so many angles that you have to kind of account for, right? Like there's 3 bomb sites, there's two ways into A, 2 ways into C. B is so close to the attacker spawn. Like there's so much that you actually have to cover for, especially off the line. So if you come off that line just with a plan in mind and ready to make that direct push, you can really kind of abuse the fact that you can't make these rotations. Your resources are so spread out of the map. Like we're 20 seconds into a round and look at where the defending breach is. Like he's floating. Like he's got a truck. Like he's got to move. God knows how long, right? Like he's off the map right now. He blue pilled, went back to base, and he's buying right now. Like no presence.
Yeah. Let's see. Human Theory. I love that defensive approach in the second half. Muyaho seemed more adamant on preventing plant after plants, but actually fighting sites in the first half. Whereas getting more actual retakes protocols. Yeah. AP definitely is retaking. I'm not sure about the first point. Muyaho seems more adamant on preventing plants. By actually fighting sites. Yeah, I feel like they're buying time. I was what I would describe it as.
Trying
to think back.
What do you mean by buying time?
Well, so I think what we saw Muyaho do on defense was like Buzz, obviously outside of Buzz's performance, and even he participated in some of this, right, where they would be on site, the team would run on, and they wouldn't necessarily try to wide swing or try to do a ton if they didn't have the numbers, right, where they would be in corners holding certain angles even while a plant is happening, right, and waiting for the team to come
rotations. Gotcha.
Right? And then they would play with vision to retake. So I think we didn't get into too many situations to where the bomb plant happened to where, because I think they would get caught on just how Muyaho was set up. So I think I see what you're trying to say here.
Yeah.
Having more information and reading attacking intent mid round versus playing very defensively in priorities numbers. Got it. Yeah, definitely agree with that. Okay, cool. Let's see what happens. Meanwhile, Buzz is stuck. So
Buzz is a little stuck. He's definitely got support, but they hear that drone coming up A short. I wonder how much it sees.
It's a good smoke. They needed that. Uh-oh.
He heard.
Oh, no, Lawrence. I can't believe they got him to... Okay, Buzz getting the support, though, that time.
Yeah.
Guys, I'm stuck. I'd love to hear the comms. Help. That was very greedy. Well, I mean, because Buzz has been inting so many of these attack rounds, so it's not like... It's definitely not a good play, but... Oh, I mean, it wasn't recommended, and it wasn't a high chance, but it was probably just like, oh, he's probably just out there. Like, his team's not going to be with him.
I'd love to know exactly what that owl sees, like that drone up A short. Like if you actually see that and can communicate that to Lawrence, like I think you just give that up. Like there's no reason to sit there and try and take it. You know he's there. If you got to back it up farther than that.
Where were they? Oh wow, okay, all the way back here.
Yeah, like almost like 120ish.
Oh my god, yeah.
So you see this owl coming through A short. Lawrence is gonna get POV here. I would assume this owl drone has to see something. He pushes up. He sees the bullets. Like he goes to peek here, misses, and he just sits there and waits.
He forgets. He just forgets they can swing on him.
You can't do that. I appreciate the confidence, but if that owl drone really doesn't see anybody, I don't. It feels a little greedy.
I had to. I mean, got shot out.
Yeah, like somebody else is there. Jet can't shoot that.
Yep.
Somebody else is there, and you can't 50-50 that. So just give it up. That's fine. Play back a sight. He knows that Jet's there. He knows somebody shot that corner.
Yeah, I almost can imagine the thought process. It's all right. They're smoking me off so they can retreat. I'm gonna check the left side of the door. Right. Oh, they're not there. Oh shit, he's still in the cubby. All right, I'm just gonna wait for. Oh, I'm dead. I can almost like picture that.
Yep. Yeah, agreed. Like you've got a lot of resources out of that. You've got a lot of info now that they're leaning A side, so that's fine. Give it up. Play back a site.
Yep.
You still have that op angled straight down long A.
Mm-hmm.
Be done with it. If you want to, set up a little bit better, you can go heaven with it. That's fine.
Yeah. And they still
There's
have the
no
Sova
reason to
there
be
on
aggressive.
short. Yeah.
He
just tried to do buzz. He just tried to be buzz.
Yeah, it feels like he's trying, like he's been so adamant in buying the op, and he just hasn't had much value with it that he's like, okay, here, I'm gonna plant my feet. I'm gonna just sit here and bang with you. Like I'm gonna take this read and see if I can win this duel, and just flops with it again. Like, oh boy.
Yep. They love the just jet dash on the site. I mean, they're definitely using the minimap thing where just dash on, sweep your mouse around.
Mm.
All right, here's a retake all through CT again, except this time they have
the Omen had an opportunity.
Yep. Oh, dude, big flonk. Does he get sniffed out? Big flonk. Nope. They're just gonna run the site. Where's the flonk? He still work his way around. Yeah, this is Jeej.
Paranoid and done. Yeah, I don't think you can commit that many people into those kind of retakes. I would have much rather seen that Omen. Like, you feel like somebody's gonna flank. Like they're looking at each other like 5 seconds farther into this, right? Like they're going to kind of cross like sight lines with each other. They don't see each other, but like just through the map, like they acknowledge that there's a feeling that somebody might come through this angle, but he just kind of gives it up and commits. I would have rather seen him kind of act on that and try to, wrap the map. Like if Blue Omen wins this duel here, like right here, like he kind of suspects that somebody's probably going to start to flank, right? Like there's an opportunity for a flank to happen. He kind of gives it up and goes to support the team. I think that's commendable. I think that's fine, but it traps you into all running through this A connector.
Yeah, it does.
I think you have to, or the Sova. I think the Sova could wrap through B late, maybe try to just stomp in, pull some attention away, try to win a duel. I think that's better than just getting slapped on by a Rolling Thunder, being controlled through a lot of these resources, right? Like there's too much space control in this game to be able to just stack and directly, push into these rotates. Like you need more, they feel almost panicked to be able to quickly rotate, get in there. Oh, we got ulted. Great. Like you have time, try to regain map control with this time that you have and try to, circumvent some of these stupidly narrow choke points. The fact that you actively want to push into this is not great.
They feel stuck and they have nobody here, and they're gonna know that there's utility to sniff it out. So like given the situation they're in. All right. Anyways, given the situation they're in, they're forced into it. But I do agree. It's like you don't have to be. I mean, and to their credit too, like AP actually had a lot of success on playing exactly as they had been playing. Right, where they were able to like Buzz would in, and then they would just play defaults and win fights, and they had some great smokes sometimes. Yeah, that was interesting. Yeah, that play by Lawrence though, he was probably just like, oh my god, like what was I thinking?
But like I think the comparisons are fair. They played very similar positions on a lot of those rounds, and it's just night and day. You see, not only did it feel like Buzz was very, very impactful, connected a lot of these shots, but would give up space if he felt like unsafe, right? Like obviously he was taking just obnoxiously aggressive angles, stuff that you wouldn't assume ops would be playing in. But the second that he felt unsafe, he was very fine with giving it up, sticking and moving around the map. Lawrence a few times kind of planted his feet, taking a weird A short push, this A long push now. Like there's a little bit of not an ego there, but I would imagine, again, kind of projecting here, probably doesn't feel all that great with his performance thus far, wants to kind of impact the match with, you know, he's playing an impactful role. He's playing Jet. He has the op in his hands. Like he wants to kind of stick on this map and make his presence known, and tries to sit there and take this duel. And but he knows, like, the owl drone gets shot by somebody who isn't Jet. There's two people there. You scouted one. Where's the other one position? You have to assume it's this 50-50. You either take the right, you know, kind of closet, or they're in A lobby. You can't just sit there.
Yeah. It's almost like they had to really, like, AP could not make a mistake. I mean, they're already down so many rounds too. Yeah. But
and they clawed it back, like,
yeah, they did. Yeah.
I think if I'm to be honest, it felt more like Muyaho failing a little bit and maybe getting a little too
as opposed to
confident.
As opposed to Muyaho outplaying them on offense. Yeah. When APE was winning, felt more like Muyaho was throwing, right? Or
a little bit.
And
throwing
not to that
away
degree.
A lot of resources.
Closer to that, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Alrighty. I think that feels good for our first little trial run.
For sure.
What do you think? I feel like I have such a yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
No, I thought this was super fun. It was definitely very informative. You know, two teams that are going into, you know, Korean Masters that, you know, I'm not super familiar with and feel much more well versed. Obviously, it's only one map, one round against, you know, a sizable opponent. None of these teams are slouches by any means. Obviously, both being in Masters now, so yeah, this has definitely been fruitful for sure.
It's been really fun. I think I guess in wrapping up here, I'm trying to think of what are the big themes that we kind of saw happen through this. I think I was very surprised by just how much pressure Buzz was able to generate on his own.
Yeah, one person on their own can have so much impact when you take these, when you're so successful in taking these like bizarre angles with the op. The fact that you're doing it immediately off the round start.
Dude, they even highlighted this head-to-head, by the way. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, like it is kind of night and day, the difference between the two oppers here. I still kind of, I'm gonna still stand on my soapbox and say that I think Buzz in some of these other maps and some of these other matches probably is a big lurking threat. And AP wanted the double coverage, that they want to sniff him out. They don't want him to gain that space. But even then, like just conditioning people to respect that from you, to respect the fact that I'm going to jump peek you right off the line and try to get these first picks. That's two ways to just intangibly affect the map that I think is worth calling out and being like, there's so much being invested into trying to shut down Buzz that it's going to facilitate so many other people on this team. And he doesn't have to do anything. He's already done the work. He's already set up, you know, the punches. He's put water in the basement.
Now
you got to deal with it. And it's so hard to deal with because it's so unconventional, right? Like in 9 out of 10 doctors are not telling you to jump peek garage aggressively off the line with an op and stand in a molly and try to make that play work. Like,
I can't believe that play.
Something you would recommend.
Absolutely.
But he does it and it lands. And again, I think the comparison is fair. Like, I think this it felt like watching Wardell, where it's just like he's good enough to make it work. He's confident that it's going to work, commits to it. It works. You look at Lawrence, you saw that similar thing from the A long push, where it's just like, I'm going to be confident too. I'm going to make this work. I'm going to make this play, but it's in different situations. It's in different scenarios. It just definitely one of the big keys from Muyo here was the impact that Buzz had on CT. Just so much resource. I think that was a big reason, along with AP just having some of the most disjointed just executes. I think they had the cute little Vision Strikers TP play that was fine, but just too much focusing on map control, not enough actually like pushing and making plays.
Right.
And then kind of being a little scatterbrained, but collecting themselves. So big up to Buzz, definitely my MVP. And I'm interested to see what some of the rest of these maps look like, because I really don't feel confident in AP not their strongest showing. It really did feel like Muyaho's T side was more weak than it was AP's CT strong.
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it really felt like it came down to some individual decisions that let them win, that like were crucial to making them win. Right? We talk about that smoke, that execute, that the one that went horribly wrong for Muyaho. That was the TP play by Omen. Buzz dashes in, and then they all get self flashed. Right? He's in the smoke, so he gets to cut up the defense in a way that we saw actually Muyaho do a lot on their defending side. But yeah, those are few and far between as opposed to Muyaho had they made the plays. Let's see here. I think Muyaho were trying so hard to make the breach and jet duo work, and then reverted to go more so with full team takes. Yeah.
Yep, I agreed. That's a great point. Like they was it Muyaho did the TP play? Was that their Omen TP? Okay. Yeah, that's my mistake. I keep thinking that was AP. I think that was one of the last times that they really tried to make that duo work, and then it was very much just direct push on to C. Like I'm gonna pull blades, I'm gonna peek long C. That's fine if I die. You're gonna TP in, and we're just gonna take that direct push.
Yeah.
I think it's very just fundamental. Like direct pushing feels good, especially on Haven. I think that also works on Ascent, but I think that map has definitely been a little bit more figured out. So
yeah, for sure.
Yep.
I think great point here too. There, even if Buzz missed a shot, he had places to fall back to, and I think it's what you expect, right? A Jet to create their own castle, right? You have your outer lines of defense, you go for whatever, and then you're back in, right? You're within the walls. You have a little more support, a flash utility.
It kind of feels like I hate to draw comparisons to the game that we're a little bit more familiar with, but I'm gonna do it anyways.
Sure.
It kind of feels like Genji pulling Blade, where it's like you have to know exactly where you're going to be in the next 5 seconds.
Yeah,
you kind of have to be that step ahead of yourself.
The map out, right?
So it's like I only have this much of a window to do things here, and if I don't, I need to be here immediately. Like you have to be, in RTS you can like shift click around the map and set up like orders on how your unit to do things, and it feels like Jets have to have that order to be like, I'm going to take this shot, or I'm going to take this position, and then if I get pressured, I'm going to back out here. Like this is where I'm retreating to. I have to have that retreat point. And to Lawrence's credit, didn't have those retreat points in place. He needs to go play some StarCraft or some Warcraft or
the spatial awareness there.
Empires.
He was out of his comfort zone very clearly. I think that is not not going out on a limb here. He was not in his comfort zone.
Not a coincidence by any means. Not an unlucky moment. Like that A short push, that A long kind of plant his feet. Like those are very much examples of him not having that presence of mind and kind of what's demanded of Jet these days. You need to have that retreat location, like you said. You need to kind of build your own castle, and that boy had a fort, if that. He did not have a moat. There was no alligators. There's no princess. That was very much a 1x1.
And he was up at the top.
90s. Very much so, yeah.
Yeah. A little Fortnite reference in there for all you that don't play kids games. Good stuff. All right, well, thanks so much. I think this is really fun. I'm excited about this. I think what's interesting is that I felt less like I wanted to like do the pause and predict, but I think if we did like once a half, or like two or three times, like 1 to 2 times a half feels like a good thing, and we can kind of make stuff up as we go, because it can be like a round win, but I think later in the half we would have said here, who will Buzz int, what I mean? Will Buzz die?
Is Buzz first kill or first blood? Like
oh yeah,
which way does he go?
Yeah. Does he get a kill or does he die? Yeah, die first.
Yeah.
There's some fun ones we can make, because then it can really like emphasize the stuff that we're seeing. Cool. So
yeah.
All right. Where should people find you?
For all my Valorant analysis, you can follow me on Twitter at Volamel. That's VOLAMEL. Primarily more for Overwatch, but definitely finding and learning the sweet science of Valorant as we get closer and closer to champions and masters and whatnot. So be on the lookout there.
I think this would be fun to. It'd be fun to do this with Overwatch too. I think this format can work for several games.
You can do anything.
Yeah,
you can do anything
for sure. Cool. Yeah, I'll have some. Yeah, so I dropped your link in the chat. Thanks everyone for tuning in. And then we have a couple of notes. I'm gonna add in. I really do like this scene when we're in game.
Yeah.
I'm gonna add in the team names though.
Yeah, that would help it then, because I got crossed up quite a lot.
For sure. And yeah, it doesn't help here that I guess at some point actually you did the color swap. Anyways, we'll add it in. Yeah. But yeah, thanks everyone for tuning in.
Catch you next time.
We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.